to say that. All right, so hopefully I answered the sister's question. Maybe I didn't. Say that. All right, so maybe I didn't. I don't know. You good, sis? You really? What you want? Some scriptures? That's the whole. That's the whole women's scriptures breakdown. We could go into it now.
It wasn't that. I know the deal. I know if I was, I guess, wise, I wouldn't go. But at the same time, even if I did go, would I have been wrong?
Yes. Yes, you would be wrong. You wouldn't be sinning, but you would be wrong. You wouldn't be sinning because he ain't give you the law. You know what I'm saying? But you already know what he want. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I have to deny myself to follow my Lord, who is Christ. So some of the things that I want to do and I enjoy doing, I cannot do it because I have to serve somebody besides myself. I have to serve my Lord. That's the mind frame you got to be in. You have to serve your man like you serving the Lord. Meaning, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I really want to do this, but my Lord ain't with that. So I ain't doing it. I'm gonna just take the loss. You know what I'm saying? The more you go against it, the more you're gonna create problems for yourself that's unnecessary. So to keep from going, deep down the road. Now I came up under Officer Shawoy Allah, and we can go into the women's scriptures anytime you feel like it. And I can prove to you what I'm saying is right. But I know you done been around long enough to know that I'm telling you the truth.
Sir.
All right, Most High in Christ says, get that demon up off you, man. Put on whatever the hell you was gonna put on to go out and go right over there and sit up on there with that joint on, smelling like you was gonna be smelling. In the world, you right there with your dude, and you kick it with him. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Next question. Anybody else got any questions? All right, I ain't got it over here. Go ahead,
So I want to know if in Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3, if that would be a good precept for Esau and Lucifer.
Would that be a good precept for Esau is Lucifer? Is that what you said?
God, you know how the white man is Lucifer?
Yeah. You said, does Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3 prove that the white man is Lucifer? How many times is Lucifer mentioned in the book?
Just once, sir.
And where is it located?
In Isaiah chapter 14.
Okay. So what are you putting together? What are you putting together to say that Esau is Lucifer? Let's go ahead and read it. We'll go ahead and read it. I ain't gonna even ask you too many questions. Go to it.
Do you want me to read up an Obadiah first or an Isaiah?
No, if we were trying to prove that Esau is Lucifer, all we would have to do is look at the Isaiah. But you're saying, is this a precept? So let's go to what you would call a precept. All right. Matter of fact, for the people who on the YouTube, I have the brother that's here read it. You got it up,
Con.
All right.
Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3.
Start at verse 1.
Con. Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Most High Power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Most High.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning Edom. Who is Edom? Salaki. Young man, can you give me that? Get a Zondervan Bible dictionary and all of that. Just grab the whole bag out. Who is Edom, young man? Kevin.
Edom is the nation of Esau.
Right. It was already open up. You can give me that too. Let me get that too. Let's get it cracking. Yeah, Khan. So this is what Obadiah is writing concerning Edom. Go ahead.
Khan. We have heard a rumor from the Most High, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Among the who?
The heathen.
Among the heathen. This is other heathens, right? Keep going.
Khan. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
This is what the heathen's going to say. They arise ye, and let us up against her in battle. Who is they rising? Edom. Esau. You got it? Keep going.
Khan. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Right. No matter how many, look, Chinese people got a limit. They're having one baby because they have so many babies. Arabs still flourishing. Negroes, Hispanics, Native American Indians still flourishing. Everybody flourishing, but Esau can't do that. Esau is one of the smallest nations on the planet. The Lord did that on purpose. But yet they ruling. I have made thee small among the heathen on purpose. Go ahead.
Khan. Thou art greatly despised.
And you are greatly despised. Let me tell you something. The people that's on the bottom, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, ain't the only people that hate the white man. The other nations hate him too. He's done wrong and wickedness to them. They tried to get down and sign treaties and all of this. He don't break his treaties when it comes to us. He do it with everybody he dealing with. Right? You are greatly despised. Keep going.
Khan. The proud have deceived thee.
The your heart have deceived you. Right? When you see heart in the Bible, what is it, Kevin?
Like you, sir. Heart is mind.
Your mind. So you are prideful. And in your mind, it's done lied to you. It's done told you a lie that you really think that you all this and all of that, but you're really not. Your pride has greatly deceived you. Keep going.
Khan. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Thou that dwelleth where?
In the clefts of the rock.
In the clefts of the rock. This talking about Edom. This talking about Esau. That was verse 3.
This is verse 2.
Go ahead to verse 3.
This is verse 3.
Go ahead.
Khan. Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High. Okay, stop right there. So this says, who thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks. If you look it up, we call the white man is a caveman. He did come out the Caucasus Mountains in Russia and Mount Seir. Look up Mount Seir real quick in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Mount Seir, and all of these different places. And if you even look at right now, the white man likes living in the high-rise buildings at the top of the Ritz-Carlton and all of this other stuff, looking down, and he has exalted himself like the eagle. Let him tell it he the greatest people on earth. Let him tell it he the Jews. He was the Egyptians. He's whoever it is that was good. The Lone Ranger. He's the Indians. You look at him, he everybody. Everything that is great has happened by other nations, and Esau come in and take the credit and exalt him. He Jesus Christ. The white man is Jesus Christ. That's what he believed. He is exalting himself. The Lord has given him a reign to do that for a minute, but the Lord ain't never said he was no Jew. The Lord ain't never said that Jesus was white. The Lord ain't never said that, you know what I'm saying, the white man gonna reign forever. Go ahead and read Mount Seir real quick, nice and strong for the people to hear you. If you could you kind of turn this way so the brothers on the phone can hear you too? Go ahead.
Zondervan's definition, Mount Seir.
Y'all can hear the brother?
The land of Seir and Mount Seir are alternate names for the region occupied by the descendants of Edom or Esau.
You see that? Mount Seir is another place. You go in the Bible, you look up Mount Seir, is talking about Esau. These are all places in the cleft of the rocks where the white man came out of when black people were ruling. If you look up the Dark Ages, these were all black people that was ruling it over in Europe. So don't miss the term European, because just because they was over in Europe, that don't mean they wasn't black. King James and so on and so forth. So it says, though thou exalt thyself like the eagle. Go ahead.
And thou, and though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Set thy nest among the stars. Remember, they talking about a space force now. Know what I'm saying? NASA and all of that stuff. They were spending billions of dollars of taxpayer money to go out and do who knows what in the middle of nowhere space. When right now you walking past niggas in spics laying on the ground homeless, when it's millions of houses uninhabited from the real estate fallout. Keep going up.
Thence will I bring thee down.
This will I bring thee down. Now here's the deal for your question. This is definitely talking about the white man, but how did you try to connect this with Lucifer? That's what I want to know.
Lucky, sir. I connected it to Lucifer because Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 through 13, it pretty much sounds like it says the same thing, that he will exalt his throne above the stars of God. And then in verse 14 it says, Shalaki, and then in verse 15 it says that he will also bring him down to hell. It's not going to fit, sir. Okay,
Most High in Christ. Yeah, you can use this as a precept because the word is enough for somebody to be able to make the connection. We know it's talking about the same person. The reason why I said I wanted to know how you connected it is because if the wording was different, yeah, even if it's talking about the same person. Now, you know, the Lord brought down Egypt. You don't see no Egypt as a superpower. The Assyrian Empire was one of the greatest ever. You don't see the Assyrian Empire in power right now. Greek, Rome, all of that. And he brought all of them down. The only reason Rome is still flourishing because America is one of those horns that came out of it. You understand? So, I mean, you can use it because it uses the same language, it's talking about the same people, but, you know, you just got to be careful what you call in a precept. You can put that down in your notes. These are the same thing that the Lord was saying about the same people in two different places. All right? Did I answer your question? All right, no sweat. Most High in Christ. All right, anybody else got any questions? Somebody give me Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Let's get it.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Can y'all hear the brother? All right, Most High in Christ. Let's get it.
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
This is a question. This is the prophet Isaiah asking this question. He said, whom shall he teach knowledge? Who is he talking about? He? Anybody?
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
The Most High.
The Most High. Whom shall the Most High teach knowledge? And whom shall the Most High make to understand doctrine? Keep going.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
What does it mean, them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? This means those people who started out with milk, with the basics, right? And then eventually, once they gather that nourishment that they can get, they use it to become stronger and stronger. And then there was a certain point where they were weaned from the milk, and then they were drawn from the breast. Those are the people that understand what's going on in this Bible. I don't care how much you think you knew before you came in the truth, all the little Israelite videos you looked at, you know what I'm saying? All the videos on the Anunnaki and the blood sacrifice and the Illuminati and all of this other stuff, you know. You do not understand this Bible if you don't go back to the milk and get the understanding of what's really in it taught to you again. Because you knew something, right? But now you got to learn something else. So what if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that Paul was a heathen and Paul was teaching heathens? How am I ever going to teach you that Paul was not a heathen and Paul did not teach heathens? You got to go back and you got to get the basics of this truth. And that's what this class here is for everybody on YouTube. This is Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969. We're now under commanding General Yohana. I am priest and officer Kazak Damar, ISUPK, Jacksonville, Florida, live at 103rd Library. All right, if you here, come by, get a flyer. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up. We'll be here until 9 o'clock. All right, somebody else? No, keep going. Let's get it.
Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
Because there's a lot of things, and a lot of people think they can grab the Bible and read it from front to back, read it from cover to cover, and they're going to understand everything. Well, some of the stuff that you read did not happen in chronological order. All right, the book is put together that way because it's a bunch of different books that's put into one book, but it's about the same people, their God, and the things that he did for them on this earth. So you might be reading one thing and wondering why you can't understand it because he didn't give the answer to Ezekiel. He gave it to Isaiah. He didn't give it to Isaiah. He gave it to Jeremiah. He didn't give it to Jeremiah. He gave it after Yahushua was dead and gone, then he revealed it to Paul and Peter. Everybody understand, right? Just explaining this truth. Just explaining this truth 101 class. Here a little, there a little, line upon line. You know what I'm saying? That's how you have to learn this thing. And the way we got the precepts lined up is for you to be able to continue to get one thing. Now, I wanted to go into a topic tonight. So if anybody got any questions, any quick questions we can, or we can go ahead and go into it. A lot of people do not understand, like, okay, I attack it from two different angles. One angle, you got the Christians who say the law is done away with. When Jesus came, he paid it all. You ain't got to worry about keeping the laws and doing all that stuff. And the Old Testament don't matter and all of this other stuff. Now everybody can be saved. God so loved the world, this and on and on. Anybody ever heard any of that? Say con. All right. Now, then you have your old Jewish Christians or Old Testament only Israelites who said the law, you have the given to you by Yah, and your so-called Jesus or whatever they want to call him, they'll use all kind of derogatory names when speaking of one of the greatest Hebrew Israelite men to walk the earth, because they have been pulled into Judaism. And the reason Judaism don't accept Christ is because he's a black man. And it expels everything that they're talking about them being Jews and them being the people of the book. Everybody understand, right? All right, so tonight, what I'll do is I'll go into some of the things in the Old Testament that lead up to some of the things that happen in the New Testament, so that we can get it. We'll dispel some of the myths from the Christian church and also these Jewish so-called Hebrew Israelites that ain't in the truth, that don't want to grab on. First of all, they don't understand what salvation is all about. They don't understand the covenants. They don't understand the Torah. They don't understand the law. That's the only way they can go against Yahushua. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of that. Now, let me get 1 Kings chapter 2. We'll jump right into it. Anybody have any questions? Just say Salakia, excuse me, or whatever. Ask that question. If it's off topic, we'll just hold it for about another hour, and then you can get it in. All right. You got it? No, I want Yamayan to read it. 1 Kings chapter 2, and verse 1. Go ahead, Trey. Y'all having a little trouble.
1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die. And he charged Solomon, his son, saying.
Now, this was back in the days when Israel was on top. Yeah, daddy's in the house. You know what I'm saying? Daddy in the house, man. He get a chance to tell you, look, man, it's about that time. Your daddy done raised you up right. You know what I'm saying? He's a king and you a prince. Now this King David talking to his son and he know he about to die. And he charged Solomon. What did he say to him? Read verse 2.
I go the way of all the earth.
I'm going to die just like everybody else.
Be thou strong.
Don't be no bitch.
And show thyself a man.
And be a whole man out here, man. This is the problem. When it ain't no daddy in the house, you end up being like mama. She the best example you got. My mama was so strong. She worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on. All of this is because the black man is missing out of the household. Right? Anyways, back to what I was going. Just like everybody else, be strong. Show to be a man. Keep going.
And keep the charge of Yahweh, thy power, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments.
Now listen to this. This man about to die, right? The most important thing he can look over and tell his son is to follow the Lord, to do what the Lord said. Think about this. They ain't in captivity like us. They ain't struggling like us. This is when Israel had the king. And this is what he's telling his son. Keep the charge of the Most High, your power. Walk in his ways. Keep his statutes. Keep going.
And his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written.
As you feel like.
As it is written.
As you see somebody else do it.
As it is written.
As your mama said.
As it is written.
As it
in the law.
In the law
of Moses.
Of Moses. Now, why are they calling it the law of Moses? It's the Most High's law, right? Are they worshiping Moses? So why when Yahweh Shai give you the law and he give you the spirit behind the law, you got to be worshiping him? Moses was a king, right? But he didn't have a kingdom. Moses was a priest in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert. I don't know if y'all caught that. There was no temple. They built a tent. Y'all don't understand. Like all of the things that were supposed to go on that the Lord had for Israel, nothing. And he built this small nation of people that came out of one man having 4 wives. Let me repeat myself. This nation of people that the Lord built out of one man having 4 wives that will become the greatest nation on the face of the earth that the Lord would be with, that he would bless, that would prosper. If only we did what David was telling his son. Read again. Salakia, verse 3.
And keep the charge of Yahweh to walk in his, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that prosper.
That you prosper, right? Keep going.
All that thou doest.
And everything you do, if you're doing this, this is why you should do it, so that you can prosper in all the things that you do.
And whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
And wherever you go. Go ahead to verse 4.
That Yahweh may continue his word, which he spake.
Now, think about this right here. King David knew that the Most High spoke concerning him, right? That wasn't spooky. But you let a brother from the tribe of Judah today tell you the Bible and all them promises that the Lord spoke, he was talking about us. He was talking about me. They'll look at you and be like, nigga, you crazy. Nigga, you crazy. Ain't nowhere in the world we was that great. Ain't nowhere in the world you from that people. You just a nigga. This is where we at. We to the point where we done broke ourselves so much by breaking the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord that we can't even believe we the people of the book. And then the people of the book still want to bring Christianity along with the book instead of relearning it like we just read. Getting back on. I know. I went to seminary school. I went to theologian school. Well, they all taught you wrong. Because what this Bible was talking about, it was concerning me. Keep going.
Isaiah, 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 4. Saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth.
In what?
In truth.
What are we the home of?
The truth.
Go ahead.
With all their heart and with all their soul.
See, that's the thing, man. People walking before the Lord, but they ain't walking in truth. They giving a little bit, but they ain't doing it with all their heart and with all their soul. And this is what a king was telling his son before he was to die. Can't play with this thing. This is not a light thing. Me, I joke a lot, whatever. I always remember Officer Shawar like, nigga, you are giving charge over the Lord's people. This is not a plaything. This is serious business out. Keep going. You think you care about your sons and your daughters? This is the Lord's sons and daughters.
There shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel.
There you go right there, right? If you will keep this, then there shall not fail a man on the throne of Israel. Somebody tell me, who was the king of Israel before Yahushua? Officer Sharat is out. You driving? Give me where it says Israel shall go many days without a king. Somebody answer the question.
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
There wasn't a king.
There was a king.
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
Joseph. That's the only way Yahushua could inherit the kingdom.
Who was the king during the time of Yahushua? You want to answer? Go on, take a stab at it.
I was like King David.
David was dead when Yahushua was born, right? Go ahead.
Was it King Herod?
Herod. Give me Herod in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Let's get one of these brothers that's on the phone. One of y'all brothers get me King Herod, and you grab it, because theirs going to say something different. And let me know if you see anything interesting that they don't bring out. Somebody give me Herod in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. So what he was telling Solomon is, if he walked in these laws, statutes, and commandments and did what the Lord said to do, then the Lord was going to give him what he said. The Lord told David, right, that as long as his seed did what the hell he said, then there would not fail a man to be on the throne of Israel. This is his promise that he made to David, right? A man who had more than one wife, which has nothing to do with what I'm teaching tonight. I'm just throwing that out there. Lord promised him. Go ahead.
Herod. When Pompey organized the East in 63 BC, he appointed Hyrcanus.
Is this in a Bible dictionary? All right, go ahead.
Second of that name to be
Does it talk about
my thing.
does it talk about his ethnicity anywhere? Like, who is he? That's really what I was trying to get to.
Okay. No, he's not an Israelite.
We know he's not an Israelite. That was the point I was trying to bring out, but I wanted to use the dictionary to say that. Go ahead.
Londonville Compact Dictionary, page 224. Herod, Idumean, ruler of Palestine.
Idumean.
40,
Right?
Idumean.
Idumean.
Ruler
Trey,
of
look up
Palestine.
Idumean. Keep going up.
47 BC through AD 79.
Okay. So
Lines,
bottom line, during the time of Christ, there was a king, but there was no king of Israel. Everybody familiar with Jeroboam? Salakia. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna have to spell it for you. Jeroboam.
Jeroboam.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeroboam.
Yeah.
Sir.
Somebody give me the scripture about where the Lord told Jeroboam, Salaki, if I'm messing up the brother's name. I know it was in the Hebrew. I know that ain't how you pronounce it anyway. But anyway, that none of his seeds would rule on the throne. All right. Somebody get me that real quick.
Okay.
You got it?
I got to do that.
All right, let's get it. Idumea.
Idumea, Greek, pertaining to Edom, the name used by the Greeks and Romans for the country of Edom.
Y'all hear that? King Herod was Esau. He was from he's from Idumea, Greek. He was Esau. So the king at that time was Esau. What's the king now? Who's the king now? What is he? Go ahead.
President?
Yeah. He's Idumea too. He's Edom too. He's Esau too. Now we ruled over in Europe, but we fell again. And we right back under the same people we was under when Christ came. Right? Somebody got somebody got what I asked for? Anybody? Sharatazar, you got what I needed? Uh-huh.
Hosea chapter 3, verse 4. For the children of Israel abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice.
Y'all see that?
And with
Hold on. The Lord told Hosea to tell the people that the children of Israel would go many days without a king, without a prince, and without a sacrifice. When the Apocrypha started talking about all these different times when the Greeks took over, when Alexander the Greek came, and all of this other stuff, it got to a point where you could not even, I believe it's chapter 2, you couldn't even profess yourself to be a Jew. Y'all understand that? It went from we was ruling under King David where ain't nobody want to mess with the Jews to under the Greeks, you could not even profess yourself to be a Jew. This is what happened to us as a people. Now, everybody have a problem understanding that the whole so-called Old Testament was about one group of people and one group of people only. Who is that group of people? Anybody that's not in the library with me.
Israelites.
The Israelites. And who is the Israelite?
Salakia.
Go ahead. Yahweh in the Hebrew. Right? This whole Bible is about one group of people and one group of the God. That's Israel and their God, the God of Israel. Connection between the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Apocrypha. That's the connection between Genesis and Malachi. That's the connection between Jeremiah and 2 Kings. Is this what it's all about? Don't let nobody fool you into believing nothing else. Even the Old Testament can be saved. Y'all know that, right? Y'all ain't know that, did you? What you'll learn if you stay in this. Somebody said Salakia.
No.
All right. What you'll learn if you stay in this truth long enough is that all Old Testament only Israelites is Christians. The reason they don't believe in Christ is because they believe that the stuff that the church taught you was actually in the New Testament. That's what it is. They believe in that the New Testament teaches worshiping a man. Does the New Testament teach worshiping a man? How do we know that the New Testament does not teach worshiping a man? Precept, go ahead.
It's where Yahweh said, why dost thou callest me good? For there is only one good, and that is the Lord.
That's good. That's good. Anybody else got another one? Somebody, go ahead.
I just thought this one out there. You shall not have no God before you.
That's in the Old Testament, though, sis. You right about that. That's what they would use to say that the New Testament is off, because that's one of the first. That's one of the first commandments. You should not have any gods before me. But I mean, like, if you're talking about somebody who don't believe in the New Testament, right? How do you prove using the New Testament that they're wrong? Give me Matthew chapter 4, verse 10. Come on, y'all.
Come on.
Let's get it.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 10.
Right.
Then saith Yahweh unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
Y'all, you should go to church every Sunday and worship me.
And him only shalt thou serve.
Read it again from the, y'all, what he said you should worship.
Come on. Then saith Yahweh unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written,
it is written, go ahead.
Come on. Thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
What does it is written tell you about what Yahweh Shah is saying? Go ahead.
Talking about the Old Testament and the laws that was given on to
Yahweh Shah ain't making this up. It's written somewhere, right? Where is it written? This should be very easy. Go ahead.
In the Old Testament?
Yes, the sister just gave it to you. the sister just gave it to you. Go ahead.
In the law of Moses, the first commandment, thou shalt know the gods before.
Absolutely. That's how the 10 commandments, before he started giving them, he tell you that on top, right? That's the first thing that they got wrong. The New Testament does not teach that you should worship any man. Now, that word worship can be tricky. It can be tricky. Remember the three wise men that came and worshiped Yahushua, right? Somebody who got a blue letter or a Bible or a concordance. Look up that word worship and where it's at in the New Testament. Let's see if we can find somewhere where it says you're supposed to worship a man. Do that. Now, as we continue to keep going, let me John chapter 5, verse 30 real quick, and we're going to put that to bed. Once again, what we're talking about is the Old Testament, which is a book of books. The Apocrypha, which is a book of books. And the New Testament is a book of books. Is all about the exact same thing. It's all about the exact same thing. That thing is the children of Israel and their God. You got it? Come on, let's go. Man.
John chapter 5, verse 30. I can of mine own self do nothing.
What color is that written in your book?
Red.
It's written in red. I can of mine own self do nothing. We can start right there. I just wanted to make sure y'all got that point. Christ ain't never said, he ain't want no credit for doing nothing. Who did he want to give the credit to? Y'all sleep on the phone? The brothers in here waiting to answer the question. I'm just trying to include y'all in the class. Go ahead.
Most High Yahweh.
The Most High Yahweh. Who is what? Who is Yahweh?
Hosea 3. Then said the Lord unto
He is our God, the only God of the Israelites.
Somebody give me Matthew chapter 15, verse 31. Let me prove something to y'all real quick. If you understand the Old Testament, the law, statutes, the commandments, if you understand where Israel went wrong, if you understand the promises that was made to Abraham, that was made to King David. Anybody got Jeroboam or whatever his name is? Anybody got that yet? I'm gonna have to get that myself, I guess. Go ahead.
Shalaki, sir. You asking for Jerome in the Zondervan or in the Bible?
In the Bible, where the Lord gave him a promise, or whatever. Let's see if we can get it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Somebody look at 1 Kings chapter 14 and see if it's in there. All right. 1 Kings chapter 14. We're going to hold that Matthew 15 real quick. We'll come back to that. Let's go. Somebody else besides Trey looking up this stuff. I want the people that I can't see. I need y'all flipping some pages. Give me one of the brothers who ain't read yet. Give me one of the brothers who ain't read yet to go and read it. You says what?
14 to 10. 1 Kings 14.
1 Kings chapter 14. That's where we need to start at. And verse 10.
First Kings chapter 14, verse 10. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam.
First of all,
and will cut off.
Oh, go ahead. Keep reading now.
And will cut off from Jeroboam, him that pusheth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away Salakia.
Where we at? Where we at? Where we at?
At the end of verse 10.
No, tell me where we at.
1 Kings chapter 14, verse 10.
That might not be what I need. Anybody know who Jeroboam is? Go ahead.
He was the king of Israel when the kingdom split.
He was the king of Israel. What?
When the kingdom split.
When the kingdom split, he was the king of Israel, right? He's in somebody who is importance lineage. Somebody get me Jeroboam in the Bible dictionary. This is why it's important. If you don't know who these people is, you ain't never seen this in the Bible. How you gonna really know the history? It's Black History Month. Let's go through it. It's your history right here. You got a cat, one of your great grand uncles. You got it, Trey? Come on, let's get it.
The first one or the second one,
What do you mean?
It's two on Jeroboam first, then Jeroboam the second.
Start with the first one.
Son of Nebat of the tribe of Ephraim.
The tribe of who?
Ephraim.
What's the other one start out?
The son and successor of Jehoash, king of Israel, fourth son of the dynasty of Jehu.
I believe that's the one. Does it talk about him, the Lord saying that his seed, he was going to take he wasn't going to be able to rule over Israel, something like that? That's what I'm looking for.
It says about him keeping up the adulterous worship of the golden calves. So this is probably, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
He became king in Samaria, 785 BC, and reigned 41 years. He followed the example of Jeroboam I in keeping up the idolatrous worship of the golden calf.
So these brothers was Israelites. They had the kingdom, and they was worshiping the golden calf. You wonder why we in the situation we in now. You wonder why Black people ain't on top. Why we got to go in Chinese stores and eat they shrimp fried, dog fried rice, and why we got to go in African stores and get whatever the hell they selling to us. Go in the Korean stores and get beat side the head with brooms to get our nails done, and so on and so forth. Why we buying weed from the Asians and all of the talents that we got being the greatest people on the earth while we on the bottom. This is why. The Lord gave us the kingdom, and we chose to worship the golden calf instead of worshiping the God of Israel. Right? Keep going.
He continued and brought to a successful conclusion the wars that his father had undertaken against Syria, restoring territory to Israel, Moab, and Ammon, probably paying tribute to Syria, were reconquered. All these successful wars brought much tribute to Jeroboam and his nobles. The wealthy had both the winter.
Skip down, man, where the Lord say what he was going to do to him. In the meantime, whoever was reading, keep reading. Tell them where you at. This is the Kings, where you was at in the 1 Kings 14, where you was at, verse 12. Yeah, go to verse 13. Go to verse 13.
I was chapter 14.
Right. Go to verse 13.
Verse 13.
Start at verse 12. Salakia, go to verse 12.
First Kings chapter 14, verse 12. Arise, therefore, get thee to thy, and when thy feet enter the city, the child shall die, and all Israel shall mourn for him, and bury him. For he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward the Most High Power.
Did it say some? It said, and the Lord, no, it said, moreover, the Lord shall raise up a king over Israel who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what even now? This ain't what I'm looking for. This ain't what I'm, this might even be the first one. Salakia, we're going to come back to that.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it Amos? Is it in the book of Amos? Amos chapter 7 and 9?
Amos chapter 7 and 9. Let me get it. Let me see. You got it up?
Okay.
Go ahead and read it.
Come.
Sharatazar, you got it up?
Come. I'm about to read it right now.
Go ahead.
It says, Amos chapter 7, verse 9. And the high places of Isaac shall be desolate, and the sanctuaries of Israel shall be laid waste. And I will rise against the house of Jeroboam with the sword.
That's it?
It says, verse 10. Then Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, sent to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, Amos had conspired against thee in the midst of the house of Israel. The land is not able to bear all his word. Verse 11, for thus Amos said, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel shall surely be led away captive out of their own land.
This actually happened. This is where I'm on at, but I'm missing the part that we're gonna just come back to it. Here's the deal. So, go ahead.
The 1 Kings 14:23 through 24, I believe that's what you're probably looking for.
Let's read it real quick. I want to keep it moving. If we don't find it, I'm gonna have to just keep it moving. Go ahead, because I got a point I'm trying to get to.
1 Kings 14:23 says, for they also built them high places and images and groves on high hill and under evergreen tree. And there were also sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations, which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel.
It's so funny. It's so funny. We done read like 4 different things, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all, these not the same people. So what this tell you about all the kings that the Lord that was raised up that came after King David is that they all sinned against the Lord, starting with Solomon. Now remember the first thing we read, this was David on his deathbed, right? This was David on his deathbed telling his son to keep the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave you, and then there shall not fail to be a man sitting on them. My point in what I was bringing is there was a fall where we lost that throne and we went up under the other nations, right? If y'all really knew, give me 2 Samuel chapter 7 real quick. The Lord made some bold promises to King David. Some bold promises. about what was happening to him and his lineage. Verse 12, go ahead and read it.
Book of Samuel, chapter 7, verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom.
Who is it talking about? Who is this talking about? Anybody? Quickly. Go ahead.
Yahushua.
It's not talking about Yahushua. Anybody else? Go ahead. Whoever was first. This talking to King David, but who is it talking about? Where it says, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Go ahead.
Who he was talking about was Yahushua.
Somebody else. Go ahead. He was talking about King Solomon. This was the king that was going to come behind David, proceeded out of his bowels, and he was going to establish his kingdom. Keep reading, verse 13.
God, he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
For how long?
I will be his.
I will establish
forever.
Forever. Forever is an awfully long time. Go ahead to verse 14.
God, and I will be his father, and he shall be my son.
This is talking about David's seed, right? And of course, it's not just talking about Solomon, but it is talking about Solomon, right? So now, if you're David's seed and you're sitting on the throne, King David's throne, let me say it that way. This is what the Lord is saying. Go ahead and start with if he.
God. If he commit iniquity,
which Solomon did, go ahead.
I will chasten him with the rod of men.
This is what happened. We lost the kingdom. The Lord already told David, I'm going to put your son up and establish his kingdom forever. Now, if he go in there sinning, I'm going to chastise him. I'm going to chasten him with the rod of men. Go ahead.
God. And with the stripes of the children of men.
Not the children of God. The children of men is what I'm going to chastise him with. Everybody follow. Go ahead to verse 15.
God. But my mercy shall not depart away from him.
Mercy is a beautiful thing, man, especially when you deserve death. Go ahead.
God. As I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee, and thine house and thy kingdom will be established forever before thee.
So go ahead.
God, thy throne shall be established forever.
So who's thy? Who is the thy in this? Whose throne will be established forever? Somebody tell me. Go ahead. David's throne will be established forever, right? Now, here's the key. How is his throne going to be established forever if we lost the kingdom and there was no king besides King Herod? There is no king but Caesar is what they told Christ. Am I right or wrong? So how is David's throne established forever? Go ahead.
Yahushua will have to come back.
You own it, but they don't clearly answer the question that I asked. You're right. That's exactly how.
Sir.
Go ahead.
The reincarnation, the spirit of David is Yahushua.
Yes, but no. You right.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
We have to turn away from the man of sin.
Somebody give me Isaiah chapter 14. There has to be a prophecy that tells you how the Lord is going to reestablish David's kingdom.
It's like that one.
Salakia, sir.
God says through his seed.
Okay, brother on the YouTube said through his seed. Officer Itazab, you are right. That's how his throne is established forever. But how is his seed who didn't live on the throne going to get back on the throne? Somebody got Isaiah 14?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 14.
Yeah. Read verse 2.
Verse 1.
Verse 2.
Isaiah 14, chapter 2, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Israel is oppressed right now. Israel is the captives right now. But the prophecy says at some point they are going to take them and we are going to rule over our oppressors, right? This is the big deal about when Yahushua came on the scene. First of all, they knew that he was coming to fulfill those prophecies, but they didn't know how. They believed that Yahushua was going to be born and he was going to pull the Maccabees and go out and slay Romans and Caesar and everybody else and take the kingdom. Well, he was, but not in that time. What Yahushua did was start the beginning of the revolution. What is the revolution? Go ahead.
The truth.
The truth is the revolution. Give me Isaiah 54. Show you how where we at right now is where the Lord wanted us. Verse 7. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 54.
Nice and strong, God.
For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee.
You see how it's talking about mercy and people talk about forgiveness and salvation and all of this. This is the Lord's doing. Somebody tell me, what does Yahushua mean? Go ahead.
Savior, deliverer.
All right, somebody do this. Whoever got the blue letter Bible, right? If you go to Matthew chapter 1, wherever you see the word Jesus at, look up that word in the Hebrew and tell me what it says. Somebody else will give a guess at it. He was close. I ain't gonna give it to him because he's an officer. Go ahead, trooper.
What was the question again?
What does Yahushua mean? Khan, you gonna answer it? Go take a stab at it, huh?
Jesus.
I guess.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Also, I just said he will save.
He will save. It sounds like something. That sounds like a sermon. Sounds like a sermon, Officer Itazab. He will save. I mean, you close, but I ain't gonna give it to you because you're an officer. You ain't got it yet, Trey? Anybody got the blue letter Bible?
I don't know how to look at people in the blue letter.
You look it up in the look it up in the Greek and tell me what it means. It's a Strong's, right? It's got the Strong's word. Strong's what?
Dictionary.
No, the Strong's what? What word is it in the Strong's? What word is the word in the Strong's?
Yahweh.
Salakia.
Go ahead,
Does it mean salvation?
Khan, but okay. Give him back the joint, man. In the Greek, the Strong's word. Hold on 1 second. Y'all make me do the work. Go ahead.
Oh, you're asking what his name is, right? It says Joshua.
His name is Joshua. What does it mean?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Savior.
Where you get that from?
I just thought that video means Savior because
You ever heard that song? You guessing? You was wrong. Go ahead.
Offside says Yahweh is salvation.
There we go. Officer Itazab got it. It'd be good if you called in, right? Yahweh is salvation is what it means. Yahweh is salvation. It's two words in there. Yahweh and hold on, I got this somewhere. I'm finna find the word. I can't believe y'all ain't know this. All right, so we have to do a little bit of breaking down the name. You know, it's power in that name. Y'all know it's power in that name, right? In the name of Jesus. Salakia. The Greek is G2424 is Isus, right? I wanted you to pull it. The reason why I wanted you to pull it up, if you look at that word, what is the origin? If anybody can look it up, is Strong's word is G2424. In the Greek, it's pronounced Isus, right? It says root word, etymology. You see that, Trey? What does it say the root word is? Or where does it say that word came from?
Of Hebrew origin.
Of what origin?
Of Hebrew origin.
How is this name in the New Testament, a Greek book, so the Old Testament said, of what?
Hebrew origin.
Of Hebrew origin. And then it gives you a Hebrew word. What's the Hebrew word? Yahawashai. What word is that? This is Strong's what?
H309.
3091. You go to H3091. What does that mean? Where it says outline of biblical usage, what does the word Yahawashai means? And it's going to say Jehovah. Don't get spooky. We know that the right way to pronounce it is Yahweh. This means Yahweh is salvation for the sake of time. Exactly what Officer Itazab said 10 minutes ago. Why am I going through all of this? What's the point? The point is, first of all, the name Yahawashai gives all the credit to the Most High. Yahweh is the salvation. You want to see Christ's name in the Old Testament? Y'all want me to show y'all that? Y'all ever heard the Old Testament Israelites say that? Show me one time where it says Jesus' name by name in the Old Testament. Y'all ever heard this? Am I the only person ever heard this? Y'all gotta forgive me. I used to battle Old Testament Israelites a lot, man. It's a lot, and I chop them up left and right. Anyways, let's do it. Let's go here first. Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11. If y'all don't know, there's a video up on YouTube. It's Christ in the Old Testament. Isaiah chapter 11 is it. I need you to read this very fast. Not speed reading, but consistently read it. Nice and strong. Start at verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse.
And there shall come forth a branch out of Jesse, who is David's father. Go ahead.
And a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of the Most High shall rest upon him.
And the spirit of the Most High. That's the important part. Keep going.
The spirit of wisdom and
go ahead.
And understanding. The spirit of counsel and might. The spirit of knowledge.
If y'all don't know, he is talking about Yahushua. Skip to verse 4.
Verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
And the meek shall inherit the earth, is what Christ said. Go ahead.
And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth.
See, what Christ did the first time he was here is he came and chopped up all of them different doctrines that was in the earth. The same thing we do now. Well, Esau is the Arabs. Well, God loves everybody. Well, the law is done away with. Well, you should love everybody. That's what Christ came and cut all of that. Skip down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse.
There shall be somebody who comes from Jesse, but now it's saying the root of Jesse. That means where Jesse began. How can you be the root and the offspring? Reincarnation, we already went through that, right? He came before Jesse and he came after Jesse. If you go to the last chapter in the Bible, in Revelations, Christ said, I am the root and the offspring of David. I'm where David came from, and I came from David, right? This is what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Which shall stand for an ensign of the people.
And it shall stand as an example, as a banner, or as a example for the people. Go ahead.
To it shall the Gentiles seek.
The Gentiles can be saved too. See, I told y'all. To it shall the Gentiles seek. Go ahead.
And his rest shall be glorious.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Most High shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
The remnant of who?
His people.
His people. Possessive pronoun. The Lord has a people. Go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Keep going.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
There it goes again. He's going to set up an example, a banner. Go ahead.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. This was Christ's job in the earth. Give me Isaiah chapter 12, right there in the next one. Give me verse 1 and 2.
Isaiah chapter 12, verse 1. And in that day thou shalt say, O Most High, I will praise thee. Though thou was angry with me, and thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me.
Right. So let's start right there. This is the key. Remember when we was looking for Jeroboam, whatever you say, however you can pronounce his name, we found all these different places where somebody pissed the Lord off and did not deserve a kingdom and did not deserve to reign in the earth and deserved death. And the Lord told him he was going to do things to him. This is in the New Testament, the Lord showing his mercy on his people. Read it again.
Isaiah chapter 12, verse 1. And in that day,
go ahead.
Thou shalt say, O Most High,
O Yahweh,
I will praise thee. Though thou was angry with me.
The Lord was terribly angry with Israel. Go ahead.
Thine anger is turned away.
Now thy anger is turned away. Go ahead.
And thou comfortest me.
And thou comfortest me in that day. Keep going.
Behold, power is my salvation.
Behold, God is my salvation. Behold, Yahweh is my salvation. Somebody tell me what Christ's name mean again. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yahweh is my salvation. Yahweh saves.
Yahweh is salvation. This is Christ by name in the Old Testament, but you can't use it that way because he wasn't talking about a person. Remember, Yahweh is salvation. The Lord, the Most High, is the salvation. Didn't we read Matthew chapter 4, verse 10? Get thee behind me, Satan. Him alone shall you serve. All the power is for the God of Israel. This is included in the New Testament. Remember, we went to what was that? Matthew chapter 10. We was finna read that, or was that Matthew 15? Matthew chapter 15. Let's go ahead and go there now. The New Testament is proof that the Lord was going to do what he said he was going to do concerning Israel. There's a million prophecies in the, so the Christians are wrong when they think you can have a New Testament without the Old Testament. The Old Testament is the history of the Israelites. Why do you think the New Testament begins the way it begins? Somebody give me Matthew chapter 1 and verse 1 real quick first. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 1. Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generation of Yahushua.
The book of the generation of Yahushua. Keep going.
Mashiach, the son of David.
The son of who? The son of who?
The son of David.
The son of David. If you go to Psalms chapter 89, he'll tell you the promises about what was supposed to happen to David, his seed. Go ahead.
The son of Abraham.
And the son of Abraham. Everybody know about the blessings that was promised to Abraham. This is Christ's claim to fame right here. He was the son of David and he was the son of Abraham. The whole point in the New Testament is this is fulfilling all the promises that was made in the Old Testament. Now, if you think it's all about serving a man or worshiping a man, well, first of all, it is about serving the king. And we'll get to that. And I think we'll close out on that, right? Go ahead and give me Matthew 15. You got it? 31. Go ahead to verse 30.
And great multitudes.
Tell them where you at, huh?
Matthew chapter 15, verse 30. And great multitudes came unto him.
To whom? To Yahushua. Great multitudes came unto him. Go ahead.
Having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others.
So now, this is what's happening right now in the earth. We got all these blind people. They can't see. All these dumb people. All these maimed. All of these people who done been through all types of oppression, inequality, injustice, all types of stuff. I'm talking about they had to deal with molestation, abuse, rape, all types of stuff. They coming with all types of problems to Christ, right? And Christ is using, through the Spirit of the Lord, healing them all. Keep going.
And cast them down at Yahushua's feet.
And they cast all of these people at his feet. Keep going.
And he healed them.
And he did what?
And he healed them.
This is your job if you're going to follow Christ. He healed them. Now, did he heal them so that he could just sit back and be like, I'm the man. Everybody look at me. I'm the man. You see me raise that nigga from the dead? I'm cold, boy. But hey, listen, I'm cold. Is that the reason Yahushua was doing that? For his own self-worship? He healed the blind man and said, don't even tell nobody I did it. Right? Everybody he healed, he was like, don't even tell nobody I'm the one that did it. He could have healed, he could have raised Lazarus in front of everybody. He's like, nah, let's go out here away from people. You know what I'm saying? Don't even tell nobody, man. I'm on the move, bro. They already looking for me. I'm hot. I don't need no attention. I'm trying to break it down in language y'all understand now. Trying to get no attention. Y'all don't get it. Now, So he's healing all this through the Spirit of the Lord. Now let's see if he was doing it for them to worship him and give him glory. Read verse 31.
Insomuch that the multitude wondered.
They wondered. Go ahead.
When they saw the dumb to speak, the maid to behold,
right,
the lame to walk.
All of these are miracles. When they saw all of these miracles, go ahead.
And the blind to see.
And
they glorified the power of Israel.
They glorified Yahushua.
The power of Israel.
They gave all praises to Jesus.
Glorified the power of Israel.
When Yahushua did the miracles, these people gave glory to the power of Israel, the God of Israel. This is what it's all about, huh? This is what it's all about. Will you see white people kissing our boots in their kingdom? It ain't for us to get the glory. This is the Most High causing them to do. We ain't made none of them devils get down and do that, huh? When you see brothers coming here changing their life and getting off drugs, brothers that done had issues, brothers that's in and out of jail, brothers that ain't never did right in their life, but coming in here and being turned into fine gold, it ain't so you could give us credit for doing it. It's the Spirit of the Lord, huh? This book is about one thing and one thing only. It's about the God of Israel. How he brought his people through over and over again, and it's no different in the New Testament. It's no different. It's still about the same people. Was they glorifying the gods of Egypt? Was they glorifying the gods of Rome? No. They glorified the God of Israel. That's who's supposed to get the credit and the point. That's the whole point of the Bible. Y'all follow me? Y'all still with me? Give me Luke chapter 1. I'll prove it to you. Once Israel come into play and the Lord choose Israel, ain't nothing else to be talked about. I don't care what they talk about. They can say all they want to. This is the New Testament, right? Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Somebody give it to me. Let's go. Go ahead, up.
Luke chapter 1, verse 58.
68.
Her neighbor.
68.
Blessed be the Lord, the Most High of Israel.
Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel.
For he has visited.
Hold on, wait. We ain't finna move past that out 1 second. This is the point I'm trying to make. The Bible, although many different books in the Bible, it's all talking about one thing. Whether it's concerning what Moses did Moses part the Red Sea or did the Most High part the Red Sea? It's a trick question. It's not a trick question. The Most High used Moses to part the Red Sea. The Most High used Isaiah and Ezekiel to give his words to the children of Israel. The Most High used Yahushua to perform miracles to let Israel know that he was performing the mercies that he promised them in the Old Testament. And this is right before Yahushua was born. Another brother who received a vision from angels, understanding what was happening. This is John's daddy. Go ahead, read it.
For he hath visited and redeemed his people.
Y'all see the importance right there? Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. This is the salvation right here. He ain't visited and redeemed everybody. Keep going. Keep going.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
This is the point. Remember Matthew 1:1, son of David, son of Abraham. It tell you that right before it give his lineage. the lineage that includes his father Joseph. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he have visited and redeemed his people and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Let me go here real quick. You got that red sword? Give me that real quick. I probably can get that quicker than on my digital joint. Keep going out.
Verse 7, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
Right. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets since the world began. Now, Bakwash, I want you to hold your spot there. We're going to go to some of this real quick. Give me Psalms chapter 89. Psalms chapter 89. Yama, tighten up, Bob. Tighten up, Bob. You done heard this before. You got me? Digital sweat ain't working?
I'm got it sideways. Do you?
All right, no sweat.
I'm there.
You got it?
Psalms 89.
Go ahead. Let's get it.
Psalms chapter 89.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant.
Right? So this is the Most High. He done made a covenant with his chosen, and he done sworn. What do you say? He done sworn unto David. Certain things he promised David. Go ahead.
Thy seed will I establish forever.
Your seed I'm going to establish forever. Go ahead.
And build up thy throne to all generations.
This is good because David, at this point, when he got this promise, was the king over Israel, and Israel ruled the earth. This throne is going to be forever, right? Drop down. Let's see. To verse 20.
Psalms chapter 89, verse 20. I have found David, my servant. With my holy oil have I anointed him. Mm-hmm. With whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of the wickedness afflict him. And I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted.
In my name shall what?
Be exalted.
No, in my name shall what?
His horn be exalted.
His horn, right? In my name shall his horn be exalted. Y'all see that, right? In my name, whose name? The Most High's name, shall his horn be exalted. Now, go back up to verse 16. Go back up to verse 16, same book.
Psalms chapter 89, verse 16. In thy name shall they rejoice all the day, and in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. For thou art the glory of their strength, and in thy favor all horns shall be exalted.
And he keeps talking about this horn, right? But Quash, read verse 69 again. Tell him where you at.
Verse 69.
What chapter? What chapter you in? What book?
St. Luke, chapter 1, verse 69.
Luke 1 and 69, what it say?
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
This is the horn he was talking about. A horn of salvation that was raised up unto David, right? Go ahead to verse 70.
As he speak by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
He done spoke this out of the mouth of the prophets way before Christ ever hit the road. This man, this black man who was John's father, was now getting a revelation that this was about to happen on the earth. The Lord was about to answer those prophecies that he gave. The Lord was about to fulfill those things that he promised to David all those years ago through his son. Matthew chapter 1, the son of David, son of Abraham. Y'all following me, right? I ain't lose nobody, did I? As he spake through the mouth of his prophets, which have been since the world began. Go ahead to verse 71.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
That we should be saved of our enemies and from the hand of them that hate us. That's the salvation right there. Can we be saved from this white man who want to murder us, who hate us so bad that he want to build a wall, who shoot our kids down in the street and never go to jail, who tell us pork is the other white meat and homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle? Before you know it, you're going to be able to walk in Walmart, CVS, and buy weed. You know how many jobs that's going to take out the hood? The white man want all the money, even the money he claimed to be illegal. He want to sell you all the poison. He tired of you making money selling poison to your own people. He want to sell it now. Can we be saved from our enemies and from the hands of them that hate us? Yeah, we can. If we grab on to the inside and walk and be like the banner and be like the example that the Lord gave us, then we can do what? Be saved from our enemies and all them that hate us. This was John talking about what was about to happen when Christ come on the scene, or John's father. Read verse 72.
To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, to oath which he swore to our father Abraham.
The oath which he swore to our father Abraham. This is why when the New Testament starts, it starts connecting Christ to David and Abraham. If Christ ain't had no father, then none of that is true. If you believe what the Christians say about the virgin birth and the Trinity and all this other stuff, then none of this stuff connects with the Old Testament. When you get rid of Christianity and you follow the Bible as it is written as a history book, and you learn that Christ came from the lineage of David, all of these prophecies fall right into place and you understand where Christ fit at in that. Right? Keep going out.
That he would grant unto us that we be delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear.
That we might serve him without fear. Everything in this Bible, when we go back to Deuteronomy, it's talking about the Lord choosing Israel. Give me Isaiah chapter 45. We hear this one all the time. Now, we just spent a lot of time in the New Testament. But what the point I was trying to make is that it's all one book, is that it's all one people, and it's all about one God. Nothing ever changed. We already know in Matthew chapter 19, verse 16, he told him, if you want everlasting life, you keep the commandments. In Matthew chapter 5, he told him that not one jot or one tittle will ever pass away from the law. Everything in the Old Testament still proves today Christ never came to change anything. Everything that you believe that Christ did that goes against so-called what they call the Torah, it's because you learned it at the church. It's not in there. It does not exist. There is nothing in the New Testament that is idolatry except what the Romans was doing. And remember, Paul and them told them to stop doing that and come back to the Lord, the God who created heaven and earth. We might have enough time to get that. Go ahead. You got it?
Isaiah 45:17.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 45. Verse 17, but Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end.
Y'all see that, right? Israel shall be saved is all about Israel. Now, what's the point am I trying to bring out? Somebody, sum it up for me.
Shalaki.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yep.
The point that you're trying to bring out is that Yahweh Shai only taught us to serve the Most High how we were supposed to serve Him always.
Okay, as a bigger point. That's part of the point.
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
That the Bible is one book and that the people never change throughout the ages, and the Most High has only dealt with.
Y'all hear him? Y'all hear the brother? The Bible is one book, and the message of that book never changes. It's about the importance of understanding who the God of Israel is, who he loves, how to serve him the right way, and how to get blessings from him as the children of Israel. That's the whole point. Give me Acts chapter 5. You drive this point home. Now, we always talk about heaven and hell, heaven being a position of rulership, dominance on earth, hell being the current condition Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in right now, dying, aborting our babies at 400,000 a year, highs out they mind, falling victim to every single trap that the white man puts in their face. That's hell, right? Go ahead, Doc. You got the scripture? Go ahead.
Was that Acts chapter 5?
Salaki. Yeah. Chapter 5, verse 30. I'm gonna let the brother read it.
The fathers raised up Yahweh Shai.
Stop right there. Read it again. Read it again.
The power of our fathers raised up Yahweh Shai, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree.
The God of our fathers, which is the God of Israel, which is the God of David's father, which is the God of Solomon's father, and on and on and on, which is the God of Isaac's father and Jacob's father. The God of our fathers raised up Yahweh Shai. This in the New Testament. Who raised up Yahweh Shai? Did he raise himself up? Read it again, huh?
The God, the Most High, the power, like the power of our fathers raised up Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
He slew and hanged the tree.
Yep. Keep going.
Him have the power exalted.
Him have the power exalted with his right hand. Go ahead.
To be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sin.
Y'all see that, right? This is the whole Bible right here. This is the whole Bible. The whole point of the New Testament is to prove that this is the person that the power, the Most High, the God of Israel, exalted to be a prince. What is the prince? What is a prince's job? Who is the prince in a kingdom?
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
The king's son.
The person who will become the king. Him have God exalted with his right hand to be the one who would become a king and a savior, to give repentance to everybody, to Israel. This is the New Testament, right? And forgiveness of sin. Only people that can sin on the earth is the only people that God gave the laws to. That's Romans 9, verse 4. That's Psalms what is it, 146, 19 and 20, 147, 19 and 20. All right. See ya. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Most High Christ. Here's the point. Don't make me go in the Apocrypha. It's all through the Apocrypha. Nothing but Israel, 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 Israel. All through the New Testament. Israel, Israel, Israel. All through the Old Testament. Israel, Israel, Israel. That's why it's so important to know who the children of Israel are. And because the Lord said one of the curses was we would lose our identity. Because the scripture said if we went against the Lord, we would lose our identity. The only way that we can find out is by going through the curses. It's going through the words and saying, hold on, we talk like that. Hold on, we fry chicken like that. We wear our clothes like that. We the salt of the earth. We you know what I'm saying? The people that other nations want to raise up so that they can, we the ones that we at the bottom of every great kingdom. And the Lord put us there because we sinned against him. And if we're going to get it back, we have to understand the importance of the Old Testament, which is the law, the Apocrypha, which is history of us under Rome. The New Testament is the beginning of the Most High calling his people back and giving us another chance to come and serve him the right way. Somebody give me Jeremiah 31:31 real quick. This is what none of them people, Old Testament only, New Testament only, so-called Hebrew Israelites, when they start talking about Yahushua and all of this, don't understand. You must be in the new covenant, because if not, you don't have no covenant with the Lord. The Lord ain't listening to you if you ain't got no covenant. He ain't in no agreement with you. Who is you? Somebody got it? Let's get it.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Y'all see that, right?
Covenant they break.
Y'all see that, right? The Lord already prophesied and said he was going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel, with the same people that he brought out, the same people that he brought out of Egypt. How you gonna do that? Ain't them people dead by the time he's saying this? We already taught that whole nother class. But the Lord said he was gonna make a new covenant because we broke the other one. What is the point of Yahushua? Give me Hebrews 9:15. That's gonna be the last scripture. What is the point of Yahushua? We got an old covenant with the Lord, and it's all about just keeping the laws and all of that. We just got to keep Torah. You already broke it. How do you get another chance if it ain't for Yahushua? Somebody got it? Let's go. Now I'm gonna let the young man who in here read it. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 9, verse 12.
15.
Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15. And for this cause, he is the mediator.
He is the mediator. He's the go-between. Go ahead.
Of the New Testament.
Of the New Testament or the new covenant. Go ahead.
That by means of death.
Right.
For the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
You see that? To redeem the transgressions of everybody? No, of them who were under the first testament. This is Christ's mission. Cold cut. Christ ain't come for everybody. The Bible ain't for everybody. It's for the children of Israel. And if you Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, that's you. All right? For everybody on YouTube, we're gonna clip the class. Anybody else in the class got any questions?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
question: was Satan an angel in heaven? Was Satan really